This is Sivakant Pathak, Teach to Energy Science and Engineering. I hope you are stay safe at your home and obeying completely lockdown, taking care of your elders and his oblique her health. Today I am going to start Unit 3, Solar Energy. Here in solar energy, we are going to give introduction, what is the solar energy, how it is measured and its basic parameters. In the previous lecture, I was talking about nuclear energy, and when I was in nuclear reactor, I told to you the source of nuclear energy in a nuclear reactor is nuclear fission. In the developing country, or you can say in whole of the world, the demand of electricity is much more. We have many projects available to produce electricity, in which hydro project. In hydro project, electricity is produced by water. Coal project. Coal project is also called a thermal project, in which coal burns and heat energy is converted into light energy by certain devices. Thereafter, the nuclear power project came, and around 10% in the world, the energy, electrical energy, is obtained by nuclear energy. When we see thermal power project and nuclear power project, a lot of pollutions takes place in that. In thermal power project, emission of carbon dioxide. This emission of carbon dioxide increases global warming and temperature of the universe. Second, in nuclear power project, the nuclear fuels emits harmful radiations like alpha, beta and gamma particles, and these particles are very harmful. Solar energy is alternative source in which it is completely free from pollution, any type of global warming, carbon dioxide increase, temperature increase. It is called alternative source of energy. We have certain other means of energy available, fossil fuel, in which petrol, diesel, kerosene, these all are producing pollutions in the environment. So we are going towards the solar energy. This solar energy is obtained by capturing heat and light from the sun, and it is technique include to use the photovoltaic system, concentrated solar power, solar water heating to harness the energy. This is called active solar system, and it is directly consumed in activities such as drying clothes, warming of air. As I told, it is a safer, pollution-free, neat and clean energy, and use of this help to increase the pollution-free country. To generate this solar energy, the solar energy radiated from sun is collected on the surface of Earth due to certain electronic devices. That is array of photovoltaic cell, and it is normally collected this heat and light energy of sun and convert into electrical energy. Here in this diagram, array of photovoltaic cells are given, and this photovoltaic cell absorb radiations falling on the surface of this photovoltaic cell, absorbs this heat and light energy, convert in form of electrical energy, and this electrical energy is used to run various devices. We have at a small scale solar toy, solar car, solar calculator, solar geyser, solar fan. Different type of home appliances are available which are run by solar energy. People can even heat their houses and their water for the use. In this phenomena, there is absolutely no pollution. Solar radiation comes from a sun. Sun is a natural source of energy. This energy is in form of maximum heat and light, and it is maximum available throughout. If you use this energy at a large scale, then we can generate electricity at large scale, and this is a very economical in comparison to hydro project, thermal project, or even nuclear project. Solar radiations emitted from sun in form of electromagnetic wave. Sun is considered as a black body. The temperature of this black body sun at the core is more than 1.5 crore Kelvin, but on the surface it is around 5800 Kelvin. At this temperature, the surface of sun radiates visible shortwave electromagnetic radiation with infrared radiations. This can be clearly understood by this graph given here. In this graph, which is seen here, colored spectrum from violet to red is visible spectrum called. 44% of sun radiation is visible light. When we move from the visible spectrum to left side, 7% of solar energy is in form of ultraviolet radiations. And when we move from right side of this visible spectrum, almost 50% radiations is infrared, microwave and other radiations. Maximum in form of near infrared and far infrared radiations. So maximum almost 80% of energy comes from sun is in form of visible radiation and infrared radiations. Infrared radiations are called heat radiations. Every location of Earth receives sunlight, and the amount of solar radiation that reach on the surface of Earth is due to certain parameter: its geographical location, time of the day, season, local landscape and local weather. These parameters are responsible. One more thing is responsible, that the amount of solar energy obtained on the Earth's surface is depend on how this solar radiation strike on the surface of Earth. Actually, it strikes from 0 angle to 90 degree. 0 degree means just above the horizon and 90 degrees directly overhead. When it is get normally, then there is a maximum chance of obtaining the solar radiations. Since we know that Earth revolves around the Sun in elliptical path, here in this elliptical path, it moves with different velocity at different points, right? And it covers and its absorbed are faced by solar radiation at different point at different angles. The 23.5 degree tilt in the Earth axis of rotation is a more significant factor in determining the amount of sunlight striking on the Earth at a particular location. Tilting result is longer days in the northern hemisphere from the spring to the fall equinox and longer days in the southern hemisphere during the other 6 months. Countries like United States, which lies in the middle latitude, receives more solar energy in the summer, not only because days are longer, but also because of sun is nearly overhead. The rotation of Earth is also responsible for hourly variation in the sunlight. These are the parameters through which we can receive the solar radiations in form of visible and heat from the natural source sun. The diffusion of the solar radiations is also due to certain reasons available in the atmosphere. It is due to air molecule, water vapors, cloud, dust, pollutants, forest fire, volcanoes. These parameters either absorb radiation or scattered or reflected. This is called diffusion solar radiation. If radiations come without diffusion, then it is called direct beam solar radiation. Atmospheric condition can reduce direct beam radiation by 10% on clear dry days and by 100% during thick cloudy days. Solar radiations basically measured in kilowatt hour per meter square by using solar electric, that is photovoltaic system. In British system, the solar radiations also measured in British thermal unit per square foot also. These are the content related with solar energy, how it is measured in solar cell. Thereafter, we are going to see basic physics of semiconductor. See very carefully the fundamental of semiconductor. It is very interesting. We know that on the basis of conductivity, material are divided into 3 categories. These are metals, semiconductor and insulator. Metals are those which allow to pass electric current insulator do not allow to pass the electric current, whereas semiconductor allow only partially to pass the current. How it is? All atoms are made up of electron, proton and neutron. Electron is electrically negative, protons are electrically positive and neutrons are neutral. But how? Some elements are metals, some are semiconductors and some others are insulators. To see this basic, first of all we want to make a look on periodic table. The periodic table which you see here is Mendeleev periodic table. In this Mendeleev periodic table, when we see on the left side of periodic table, here in this group first and second, these groups normally called up to this is metallic character, metal group. When we move on the right side of this periodic table, we see that these elements having non-metallic character belonging to insulator group, and here we see this is near to conducting materials. In between these two, left hand side in middle, see this group 4 here in this. Here in this group 4, just below the carbon, silicon and germanium. Silicon and germanium is semiconducting material. This is fourth group, means it is tetravalent. This germanium and silicon only allow to pass a partial current because it has very few electrons in comparison to the metals like aluminum, copper, silver, gold, etc., zinc, etc., cadmium. Maximum electronic devices are made up of these two, semiconductor, silicon and germanium. Beside this element semiconductor, some compounds are also exhibit semiconducting properties. When we see group 3 and group 5, in group 3, when we see gallium combined with arsenic in the fifth group form gallium arsenide. In gallium, it is a trivalent 3 more electron, and in arsenic there is deficiency of a 3 electron. They combine by mutual sharing and form a covalent bond. This gallium arsenide is also semiconducting material. Here in this, not only this gallium arsenide, but also indium phosphide and gallium nitride also show semiconducting property. Before this, once more look periodic table in which pure semiconductor obtained in the fourth group is, as I told, it is germanium and silicon. This germanium and silicon is tetravalent and it has cubic crystal structure with lattice parameter of 0.543 for silicon and 0.566 nanometer for germanium lattice parameter. But when we see other than this group 4th, when we see the compound formed by group 3 and group 5, these also, the examples which have given gallium arsenide, indium phosphide, gallium nitride, these forms covalent bond and these are also exhibit semiconductor property. Not only this, when third group react with sixth group, third B with sixth B, just like as third B with fifth B in this combine, this also exhibit semiconducting property. We can see here, this can give the semiconducting property. So, semiconductors are not only the elements which are obtained in carbon family, that is germanium and silicon, but also the compound which react with third B with fifth B and second B with 6. One more thing here in this, in it, as a consequence of third to fifth, semiconductors have substantially the same electric structure as that of corresponding elemental semiconductors. Within this context, it would seem clearly that this is possible. An additional material called second to sixth compound semiconductor are also found to exist. This designation indicates the combination of group 3B element with group 6B element, in which case of the group 2B element is considered deficient by 2 element with the deficiency compensated by 2 extra electron in this case. This is for today. The next thing of semiconductor theory we'll see next lecture. Thank you.